What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me for another Adobe Premiere Pro tutorial. Today we're going to be covering the VHS preset. Let's get started. So first things first, I have this wide shot here of a beach, and we're going to go ahead and hit the color workspace and do a little bit of color correction. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into the basic correction, and we're going to put the contrast up to 45. Then we're going to go down to the whites, and we're going to change this to -40. Then we're going to go ahead and hit the creative tab, and we're going to change the faded film up to 25. Then we're going to change the sharpen down to -60. It's going to make the image a little bit blurry. Then we're going to go change the vibrance to -30. And if you're feeling up for it, you can change the shadow tint a little bit, just a tad. I like to change it to a little purple, but not too strong. Then we're going to go down to the curves tab, and we're going to pull this down a little bit. It's going to make the image look a little bit darker, but not too much. Then we're going to hit the green, and we're going to push the green slightly up and to the left. Then we're going to hit the blue and push the blue down just a little bit. Then I like to go down to Vignette, and I just put the amount down to -0.5. And you're going to see the edges get a little bit dark, but don't worry, the crop later on will take care of that. And now we are done color correcting. We can go ahead and put that onto our timeline. Little side tip for you, I used to put my footage on the timeline and then I would color correct it. And lately I've been getting into the habit of color correcting things in the project panel, which is really nice because if I go back to that footage later, I don't have to copy and paste the color correction from one video to another. If you color correct it in the project panel, it will remember all the color correcting you did to start. Next, we're going to go up to our editing workspace. Then we're going to go down to effects. We're going to type in noise, drag that onto our footage, and you'll see it pops up in the effects controls panel. We're going to change the amount to 7.5. You can feel free to play with it. I just think 7.5 looks great for me. Next, we're going to go back to our effects panel, and we're going to put in channel blur. And we're actually going to put 2 on here. Close these down. Under the first channel blur, we're going to put 20 under the red blurriness. We're going to hit the repeat edge pixels button, and we're going to scroll down here, and we're going to go to vertical. We can close that one up. Then we're going to go to the second one. We're going to change the blue blurriness to about 35. We're also going to hit repeat edge pixels for this one, and we're going to change this one to horizontal, and we're good there as well. Then we're going to go back to our effects panel, and we're going to type Unsharp Mask. And we're going to change this amount to 100, and we're going to change the radius to 10. And as if that weren't enough effects, we're going to go down and we're going to type in wave warp. Put that one on. We're going to change this one that says sine to square. We're going to change the height to 5. Then we're going to change the width to 800 and the direction to 0. Then we're going to change the wave speed to -0.1. And if you're using a negative, it means the little line that you'll notice here will scroll down. If you're using a positive number for the wave speed, it will go up the screen. And for phase, I like to do 345. And there we go. So you may notice this red line here, and that means the footage needs to be rendered, and that's because we have quite a few effects here. So if you render it, this line will turn green, and you'll be able to see what we've done thus far. This is what mine looks like. Now there are just a few more things we have to do before we finish up. The first of which is we're going to go back to our project panel. We're going to right click, we're going to go new item and adjustment layer, hit OK, and we're going to put this above all of our footage. Then we're going to go back to the effects. We're going to type in crop, drag that onto our adjustment layer. We're going to change the crop left to 10%, the crop right to 10%, and we're going to go down to edge feather, and I like to do about 20 here. That will give your footage a 4:3 ratio. And before we finish up today's video, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so you get notified when I post new videos. I usually try to post every Friday. Thanks so much. And the final thing we need to do here is we're going to make the text. So we can hit T on our keyboard to bring up the type tool. I'm going to draw a little box right here. And I have a specific VHS font that you can find in the description below. And I'm just going to type in play. Then if you want, you can Alt+Click and duplicate the play text. We can go back up to our effects control panel. We can scroll down, we can move it over. We can double click on it and change this to a date. So let's just put in a random date here. And we're gonna have to probably move that over once again. And there you go. So some of you may have seen my last VHS effect video and you may be questioning, how is this any different than the other one? Well, with the other one, it was just a really quick and easy way to get it done. This one I think looks much better. Not only that, with the first VHS effect video that I showed you, if you wanted to apply that effect to multiple clips, you would have to do a lot of repetitive editing to apply that to a bunch of different clips. Whereas with this one here, we can actually create a preset, and this is how you're gonna do that. You're gonna go to your beach footage. For Mac users, you can hold the Command key and click on all of the effects. And we're gonna right click and go to Save Preset. I already have mine saved, but you can type in your preset to name it. And you can also go to the adjustment layer and save this specific crop by right-clicking and going Save Preset. I have already done so. Finally, the last thing you may notice with the example I showed you at the beginning, the text was affected by all of these effects, where in the example I showed you here, it is not affected by this. If you would like the text to be affected by all the effects, that's very easy to do. What we're going to do is, after you have saved both presets, we're going to go up to here. We're actually going to delete all of these effects. And we're going to drag the adjustment layer above everything else. And bring this all down. Then we can go back up to our effects and go under presets. And we're going to go to VHS effect preset, and we can drop that onto our adjustment layer that also has the crop. Once you've applied it to the adjustment layer, not only will it affect the video, but it will also affect everything underneath the adjustment layer, which includes the text. Thank you so much everyone for joining me for today's Adobe Premiere Pro tutorial. I hope to see you in the next video. Take it easy.